Gentlemen, welcome to class today. This is a bit unusual. Of course, I haven't been in the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, my partner had COVID. I didn't get it myself, thankfully. She's much better now, but because of the different restrictions, I'm not allowed, obviously, go into school or go to work. So over the last week or so, I've been putting up some videos for the third and fifth years, and today I decided to put one up for yourselves as well. Just to keep you motivated and to make sure that we're getting a little bit of work done. I'm not sure if Miss Gill has spoken to you at this stage about how the year is going to go, but I'm going to be doing the oral work, Shropshire, oral questions and the poetry reading with you. That's 40% your oral exam, so it's very important, and it does tie in as well, of course, with the listening and the written work as well. So today I'm just going to give you an overview of the Microsoft Teams page, which I've created, show you some of the resources I've put up there, and then go through a couple of little bits with you. So I'm going to share the screen now, and you're going to be able to see what's on it. So if you don't have your book, don't worry about it. You're going to be able to have a look at this here. If you do not have a book before the class next week, that is going to be a problem. So make sure if you do not have a book and you're having struggle getting it, you speak to Miss Gill, who you're going to have this week, or you speak to your year head as well. It's really important that you have a book at this point, at this stage in the game. Now, the first thing I want to show you is this CJ Fallon e-reader. So this is a really handy app that you can get on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop. And this saves you having to bring the big book that is the Irish book home. You can open it up then at any stage with your tablet or your laptop or your phone and look at the different things and do your homework into your copy there. So really important that you get that sorted. Download the app, CJ Fallon e-reader, and then you'll see on the inside of your book, there should be a code there where you can redeem the ebook version of it. So yeah, the first thing I want to show you all is the Teams page that we have here. So I've set up a Teams page. There's no assignments or anything on it at the minute. And for as far as my class is going to be concerned, for the rest of the year on Monday, we do the class for the hour, and the work you do is studying after that. There isn't going to be any written work taken up by me. It's going to be the work that we do in class. And then it's going to be this stuff that you review online and look at. So you can see here we've got Bhliain Gaeilge, Mr. Burns, nothing posted up there yet, no assignments yet, but I have put files. So if you go into the files, click on that, you're going to see that I've put up a couple of very useful links here. So the first thing that I want to show you is that I've put up what we would have used last year when we were doing our Shropshires, which was important and useful for us, and that was the different verbs. So knowing how to use these 25 different verbs with may, to, she, would, shiv, and she is really important when it comes to the oral exam, and also important when it comes to your written exam. So having a look over those, using them when we need them, really important. That's all there, easy for you to use. As well as that, then another thing that I've put up, which we would have used last year as well, is the emotions, na mohucon. So just seeing these again, we haven't seen them for a couple of months. Simple emotions that we can use when we're speaking about the Shropshire, or when we're talking as well about stories, or if we're talking about continuous paragraphs, things like that. So the osarm, the of sketiniarm, the bronarm, and again changing that if we need to ert, or he, or in, or if, or who. So not standing still, I decided I'd put up a couple of other ones, really useful phrases. Nahana usaduk, another important part as well. So having put this up, this is broken up into different sections. So the first part, as you'll see here, it says Gyutalanunuk blog or litter. These are the three written parts that you're going to have to do. Miss Gill will be doing some work with you on this, but this is going to supplement that, and it's also going to give you a bit of work as well that helps with the oral work. So Nahanu Sadok, useful phrase written work. Gyutalanunuk is a continuous paragraph. This is on paper 1. Blog or litter, they're all on paper 1. So different phrases that you can use. Again, look at a phrase nice and simple like Tom Crackall Tifui. That's something you can use in your oral exam as well. Tom Krakolche fui sport. Tom Krakolche fui kiol. Very simple. Other phrases that I'll be getting you to try and use when you're speaking, doing the speaking exam. Cunan fear na raw, to tell the truth. You might say, Cunan fear na raw is full on skull. I hate school. So lots of different ones, in my opinion. Imo hurum ta kishvel gohintuk. Lots of other different ones there. And an important one at the bottom here, scale and shrapitur. So if you're writing a story in the written paper 1, or if you're doing the shrapitur then, which we've done over the last couple of weeks and months, over the last couple of months, I suppose, in 5th year, we got through maybe, I think, 18 of the shrapitur, which is fantastic. So as well as using what we looked at a minute ago, the emotions and the verbs, you're going to put in some of these phrases here. Okay, so looking at those different ones. Let's have a quick look at the shrapitur's that we have. So you'll remember some of these from before. This is Kurtar Antin in Nuaurok. Yeah, lots of different ones there. Imror Gertaha. So if we just take the Imror Gertaha one, and we look at that again for a minute, we look at these phrases that we've put up on our Teams page. Okay, suddenly, Gotobin, yeah, we could definitely use that, okay? Suddenly, Gotobin, we could use that here. Picture a dough, Gotobin, hit Mayor and Tolive. What else could we do here as well? Gana Hill and Willa, without further delay. Okay, you could say Gana Hill and Willa, Cuig me goody on hospital. Without further delay, I went to the hospital. So lots of different phrases there that we can use, we can make use of. Ones about the weather, all different ones that would happen in an event or a story. Okay, so using this Teams page, having a look at it when you're doing your homework. Again, like the app that you can get, CJ Fallon Reader, which you can get your Irish book on an app. You can get a Teams app for your mobile phone. That gives you all of this stuff here. There's really no excuse. We can definitely use those apps and the technology. I know there's many of you in the class there that want to get on well, and using simple, easy things like using the apps for Teams or the e-reader makes your life way easier. A couple of other things I've put up just for yourself to have a look at. An example of 3 written pieces, an example of a story, scale, an example of a letter, an example of a blog. So those are 3 examples of the written pieces of the paper that you should have a look at, see what the standard is. You'll see that I've included the emotions, the verbs, the phrases that I talked about there. So have a look at them and make sure you go back over them. Okay, continuing on, having a look at the book here. If you have the book in front of you, please open up page 135. If you do not, look at the board. Make sure you're looking at this. This is important stuff. So at the beginning of your oral exam, the same as every person, all 65,000 or whatever people, or 60,000 that do Irish for their Leaving Cert, will have the same beginning, and that is 5 pieces of information you need to give. So look at them up here at the top: name, age, home address, date of birth, exam number. There is absolutely no way you're not getting asked those. That is your first part. So very simple. At the end here, I want you to look over these, hopefully in your book, and write them out. We'll be going through them next week in class again. So first thing is going to be hello, Diagwit, Dias Muragwit, is going to be your reply, or the examiner, depends on who says hello first. So Diagwit, Dias Muragwit. Next question, Cain Quia will to. 3 different ways to say how are you. Kunasatatu would be the one we know. Cain Quia will to, Kade Maratatu. And they've given us loads of different options here. So Tame, Goma, Gurav Magat, Tame Eraus, Slán Avahas too. Then if you're not well, you might say Tame Biogani Nervisha Kunan Fear Na Ra. There's the phrase that we just used earlier. So how do you say the 5 important parts? Well, that is the really key one. So the first one, You should all know this at this stage. So, Liam O'Brien is anam dom. Liam O'Brien atá orm. So for ourselves, maybe Sean O'Shea is anam dom. Or someone in our class might say, you know, Thomas Murphy is anam dom. Okay. So iver tree cadis anam dit. So that's the first one you need to know. Cadis anam dit. Next one, Kenishtu. What age are you? So most of us will be 17 or 18 doing our leaving cert. So Tom A. Shocked Mlina Degdish. Tom A. Oct Mlina Degdish. So Tom A. here, you pick whichever one of these you have. Dish. So Tom A. Shocked Mlina Degdish. There's your answer. Maybe somebody might be 19. Tom A. Name Mlina Degdish. So that's your first answer, 1 out of 2. Then your address. So all very individual, lads. As you can see, you take one from here and then put it with it. So so as you can see, we have an example here. 54 O'Brien Avenue is my address. Quaig Cahar Ascol Ivrian on Shola Dogum. Now what you need to do is for next week, I'd like everybody to get their address Asquelga. So you'll see it on the signs around where you're living. It could be one of these, maybe you know it already, they've given us some examples. We'll have that for the next day. So again, an example, 32 Willington Drive is my address. Trucka Do Keja Willington on Shola Atogum. Third part, Data Breha. What is your date of birth? Okay, so an example here, Rugag me Aaron Sheula Sve Demev. I was born on the 26th of June. I would have given you this last year, but have a look at the top here. This explains it nice and easy for you. Absolutely no problem at all. If it's the 2nd to 9th, whichever one it is, and then you look at whichever month. So for example, you might say, Rugag me Aaron Triula Dabron. I was born on the 3rd of February. Okay, we should be putting a year with that as well. So the year we'll be putting with that, if it was 2004, Gavi les a Cahar. If it was 2008, Gavi les a Hucht. So say if it was the 3rd of February 2008, you'd say Rugag me Aaron Triu Law, here it is, de Fiaura Gavi les a Hucht. If we're screwed out, we won't know that for a couple of months yet, but it's pretty simple. You just call out the numbers. Cuaig shocked and a 3, a do, a she, same if we're screwed out. Okay. Continuing on, household. This is an important one as well. Pay particular attention to what's in the yellow here, guys, so that you know what the question means. I know underneath it gives us the English, but we'll be asked in Irish. We're not going to be asked in English. The whole exam orally is true Irish. So knowing what those questions are. If we look back at the first 5 important questions, we had Cadas Anandit, Cain Ish 2, Cain Shola Balia Atagut, Cade do Data Breha, and Cad E de Verscruda. So those 5, everybody's going to get asked those 5. Moving on, your household. What kind of questions could we get asked here? Well, Cad atá Savalia, Keved Agwiv atá Savalia. You might also get asked Keved Dina Ido Hilok. How many people in your family? So again, numbers when we're counting, we use these ones here. Bert Tror Karakuger Shesher Shakter Octor Nainor Detner, Ein Dina Yeg, Dareg Agwin. So for example, if there's 3 in your family, Ta Trur Agwin Savalia. There's 6 in your family. Tá Shesher Agwin Sawalia. And after you create this sentence, you write in who they are. Shin Iad, they are. Shin Iad, mom, dad, agus, Anya. Shin Iad, mom, daddy-o, agus mudrafurica. So, for example, if it's mom, dad, and your brothers at home, you'd say Shin Iad, mom, dad, agus mo, draharaka. So that is, so you'd say, if you've 2 brothers, so say for example, you've got yourself, your mom, your dad, and 2 brothers, that's 5 at home. So you'd say, ta kuiger agwin sawalia, Sin iad, mom, dad, agus Mudra Haraka. Okay, and everybody's different there, so you're going to mix and match for what you need. Next question. Top of the page. Lahanuk. K Trocahuk, 138. Kve Drahar Drafura Togut. How many brothers, sisters do you have? So look here, if you do not have any, Níl Aon Draharagum, that's what you write in, or Níl Aon Drafuragum. So if you've no brothers or sisters, Níl Aon Draharagum, agus Níl Aon Drafuragum. Is Páiste Éonar mé. You might want to take that down now. Páiste, is Páiste Éonar mé. Éonar is spelled A-O-N-A-I-R. What if you have 2 brothers and 3 sisters? Well, tá Bert Draharagum agus tá Trúr Drafuragum. Next question down along. Anim nig do Tailach, name your family. Cadas anim do Dahar, Cadas anim do Davaher. So, a simple way to do this, it takes up plenty of sentences, so that's really good. You would say, Liam is anam do Mahar. Liam is my dad's name. Deirdre is anam do Mavahar, is my mother's name. Say you've got a brother called Zach. Zach is anam do Mudrahar. Maybe Anya is your sister. Anya is anam do Mudrafur. Okay, great. So say, for example, you have 3 brothers, then you use the one at the bottom, if it's not just one brother or one sister. So you'd say, Tá Cuiger, Shiblini agum, I have 5 siblings, Liam, Sean, Niall, Anya, agus Aisling is anam dóibh. Next question about the family. They might ask, what age are they? Okay, so it will be easy here to go again. Tá Deirdre. Instead of Deirdre, you could put mom, Tá Mavam. My mother is, let's say, for example, my mother is 38. Tá Mavam Trocha a Hocht. Let's say Liam is my brother. Tá Drahar Liam a Cuigdeg. He's 15. What about grandmother, grandfather? We've got all the different ages. We should try and learn these now, lads, and try and have them off. Yeah, Dahad, Quega, Shaska, Shakto. And the same again if say grandfather who's important to you is 66. So that's Shaska a Shay. Okay, so just getting all those ones there. And to be honest with you, although there'll be lots of other topics that we cover, the longer you can talk about your family, simple things, giving simple information, the better it is for your exam and how well you're going to get on. So continuing on with the family, if we're a Cuig, Caindin is Shinna is Oiga, who is the eldest, who is the youngest. Is Misha, if you are, is Misha Undina is Shinna, so we leave out our parents in this one. It's just the Shiblini, the siblings. So is Misha Undina is Shinna, Saklan, I'm the oldest in the family. Is Misha Undina is Oiga Saklan, I'm the youngest. If you were in the middle, you'd say I Lor, I and then space L-A for the R, I'm in the middle. Is Misha, or so you just say Tome I Lor, I am in the middle. So say Deirdre is the youngest. Is I Deirdre Undina is Oiga Saklan, and Liam is the oldest. Is a Liam Undina is Shinna Saklan. 1 or 2 pages left before we move on and finish the oral work. Another oral question, do you get on well with your family? Again, you could say this about school as well. You could say it about the teachers, about your friends. On Réitín tú Gomá le do Múntóirí, on Réitín tú Gomá le do Tailach le do Cáride. Do you get along well with? And again, we have the answers here. You could answer not just for your parents, you could answer for your brother, Sean, your sister, Aisling, you can see here, my father, my mother. Maybe it's different with those people. You might say, Réitín Gomá le Maher. You don't even have to put in these bits here, right? Usually or at all. They're extra, just as long as you have Réitín Gomá le Maher, le Maher, and then Ní Réitín Gomá le Mudrafur, Aisling. So just to add an extra sentence onto that, let's say we want to say, I don't get on with my sister Aisling. We're always fighting. Réitín Gomá le Mudrafur Aisling. Bimi di goni ag trid. Okay. So again, like we're all looking at this. It's in your book. Some of you will probably think, I wouldn't be able to do this, but it's all here. You just need to put the first part with the second part. Réitíonn go maith le mo bháthair. I get on well with my mother. Everybody can write that, understand that the part in the bold is Irish, the part underneath it is English. If I put this sentence with mo bháthair, then that means I get on well with my mother. I can learn that and I can reproduce it in the exam. What kind of person, Keshe Shot, what kind of person are they? What kind of people are they? So again, just going a bit further, what you might do is take two people you get on well with. Réitíonn go maith le mo bhom. Is dinne deas isha I. I fada if it's her, he fada if it's a he. So again, what kind of person are they? So lots of different options here. So dinne deas, these are the simple ones. These are the more complicated ones. So you might put them in there. So say we're talking about our brother Sean and we want to say that he's a genius. Genius is a Sean. Maybe Aisling is a rascal. Rascal is a Aisling. A sly person maybe is Tomás. Slíomhín is a Tomás. Again, loads of different phrases, or sorry, not phrases, but adjectives here. Éireach, light-hearted, all the way down to Santach, greedy. This is one you're going to need to know yourself. Can you pick out what you would be? Well, tá mé cliste agus má conta, I am clever and honest. Or tá mé ciúin agus stúma. Or maybe if you wanted to put in, tá mé cinálta, kind, agus crackáilta, crazy. So what are they? Tá sé, he is, she is. She is not, she is. And again, down a little bit further, talking a bit more about them. So again, if it's just yourself and your mom, or just yourself and your dad, or just yourself and your mother and your sibling there, it'd be important to know how to describe them, or at least pick out one or two people in your family that you can mention, what's their name, what age are they, what kind of people are they, do you get on well with them? So keeping that in mind. And the last part, which is important as well, is about yourself. Cén sort dinne tusa, what kind of person are you? I go with this one here, this part, tá mé. So tá mé, and even though there's only a small amount here, go back the page, you'll see there's loads of adjectives that you might use to describe yourself in the middle of page 139. There we are, all of these ones. Use those. Going fast forward again. Right here, cén sort dinne tú. So tá mé, you might say tá mé sportúil agus cordial. I'm friendly and sporty. So nice easy one to do there. Try and use tá mé instead of dinne deas isha mé. Bit more difficult. Still speaking with about your family. Who's at school, who's working, such and such, who's married. So tá Sean ag obair, tá Aisling ag staidéir, tá Sean ar scoil, tá Aisling pósta, tá Sean thar lear. So again, just picking out the siblings that you have in your family and talking about where are they in life. Are they in college? Are they in school? Are they studying? Are they unemployed? Did they emigrated maybe? They moved to a different country. And the last one, Cóil siad ag obair, where are they working? So specifically maybe for your mom or dad or siblings that are working, tá Aisling ag obair I Monarcha. Aisling is working in a factory. Or tá Aisling ag obair I Sassana in England. So where and then what type. So you might say tá Aisling ag obair I Monarcha I Maileach. She's working in a factory in Dublin. Or tá Sean ag obair I Siopa I Gurkig. Shop in Cork. Tá Aisling ag obair in Ospedale in America. Okay, so there's all of those. So what I'd like you to do before the next class that we have, you're going from page 135 here. Even actually, we can go to 136 and start with question 3. So 136 all the way to page 135, question 10 here on 135, looking through those, writing out the question, and then writing the answer underneath. Okay. So the last part that we're gonna have a look at here, and again, that's a handy bit the way we can use that. 135. Okay, so what we're going to do to finish the class is I'm going to get you to have a look at page 384 in your book. If you don't have a book, don't worry. I'm going to put these up for a second. So we're going to look at this comprehension on 384, and then we're going to look at these questions are on 385. So open up 385 now, everybody. Opening up 385. So I'm going to ask the teacher, Miss Conan O'Reilly, if you wouldn't mind pausing this piece of the video now so the boys can actually, any boy who doesn't have the question or words can take it down. They'll take that down now, and then you can put this slide up where the actual piece of work is. Okay, so I'll just get you to pause it now, where the lads can take down the questions. All of these questions need to be completed. Also take down the words underneath here as well. If you do have the book, you can start answering the questions and working away on the 10 questions. So we'll just pause the video now to get a chance to take these questions down and the words as well. Okay, great. So moving on, we're going to go with this part here. So again, we're going to zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit better. So that is your first 2 paragraphs. So we might actually pause it there for a second so that people can actually answer. You'll be answering the first 4 questions there from the top 2 paragraphs, which you should all be able to see now, no problem, because the thing is paused. So answer the first 4 questions, please. And then we'll unpause it so you can answer the next few. Okay, having unpaused it again, looking at the bottom 3 paragraphs, 3, 4, and 5, this will help us to answer questions 5 to 10. So questions 5 to 10, you might pause the video again so the lads can now answer that. All of this homework is to be finished for next week.